My name is Daniel Alexander Nii-Noi Adumuah, and I am the Municipal Chief Executive of Adentan Municipal Assembly. I came into this office with a 6-point vision, and I call it E.A.S.I.H.R. E.A.S.I.H.R. The E stands for education. It's one of my priorities to make sure that the schools, not just the public schools, but the public as well as the private schools in this place, is really a place for learning and a place for excellence. We've done about 3 different situations where we've brought furniture to various schools. Institutional toilets have been placed in some of the schools. I think there are about 12 schools that have institutional toilets right now. In certain instances, like in E.A.S.I.H.R, the roofs of these schools have also been replaced because they were in bad shape. And we do all these things to make sure that education is of high priority. The next one is agriculture in the E.A.S.I.H.R. A lot of people think that at Adentan we can't do agriculture because we do not have the land. Yes, we do not have the land, but there's something called small space agriculture. And since I came into office, the mushroom project, which was started on paper before I came into office, got more than 5,000 people trained in mushroom cultivation. You realize that it's something to go into because of the protein content. And we have also got an EU project going, the Fish for Development, where the EU together with us are putting together 1.1 million euro to populate 5 of the 22 water bodies we have in Adentan with fish. And hopefully, agriculture will see a different turn within this area. The S is for sanitation. Ghana, or for that matter, Accra, is supposed to be becoming the cleanest city, and we are working towards it. The landfill sites that we have are currently almost filled. It means we need to have some more. But if you think about it, why don't we segregate our waste so that we reduce the amount of material that ends up at the landfill site in the first place? So we are encouraging our people, and we started a small pilot within the SNEET enclave where we are doing waste segregation. And you can see around this premises, we have containers and we try to encourage people to segregate it. The I stands for infrastructure. Adentan is in the middle space between the mountains and the sea. Anytime it rains, the runoff is finding its way into the sea, and it passes through Adentan. So it doesn't have to rain in Adentan before we get flood. And what is important is for us to be able to put certain things in place. Some of the strategies we have adopted is the fact that we need culverts, sometimes box culverts, so that drains will be able to become accessible to vehicles. For instance, one simple culvert around the accountancy area will help us to be able to commute and take the pressure off what we call the St. John the Evangelist junction over there. Now, if we have these linkages, it will help us to be able to knit properly, and people will have alternatives and we won't have our roads choked the way they are. So roads are some things that we want to deliver. You can see the places that have been asphalted recently. Then you can see the road or tunnel to School Junction Road. These are some of the things that are being done for the sake of the people. But then again, there's the other aspect which is negative. But some people are building on the waterways. Some people are building in such a way that they are comfortable, but their own colleagues within the same area suffer flooding because they prevented the water from flowing. The last count, about 68 of these buildings would have to be removed so that they'll give way to the water to flow. Then the next one too is our drains. Since last year, April, we have consistently been dredging our drains and desilting our gutters to make sure that the water flows so that it prevents a lot of the flooding that we see. The H stands for health. And one of the things I'm looking at is there's a need for a lot of primary health care. But in Adentan, most of the workers around here have their own hospitals, and the ladies, when they are pregnant, go to their institutional business. So we don't have that. What we are doing is that all our CHIPS compounds and health centers will now become places where people can go to give birth. So we are changing them now from just those places where people don't have anything. So the maternal health care, we drop, and we want to raise those ones. The last is the R. The R stands for our resources and my relationships with people. When you look at the number of people that I've interacted with, you wouldn't believe it. We have more than 98 residents and landlords associations in Adentan. We've registered some of these people, and I interact with them. If I have a healthy relationship with them as a chief executive, as the assembly, then chances are that we can actually get a lot more from the knowledge base of these people. We also are looking at the natural resources that we have. There are water bodies in Adentan, but Adentan has a temperature that is slightly lower than that of Accra, mainly because of these water bodies that we have. So we are working with the Institute for Sanitation and Environment and Sanitation, the University of Ghana, to identify trees that have root systems that can actually knit the earth. So if we plant these along the water bodies, not only would it preserve and save the water body from drying up during the dry season, it provides shades for people. We have about 67 kilometers of roads that are being identified. At the same time, we plant the right type of trees along our roadsides that can absorb the carbon as well as the sulfur gases that are emitted from our vehicles. All these are part of the things that I plan to do, and we've been working on these things. E.A.S.I.H.R, these 6-point things are some of the things that Adentan, through me, will be able to put on the ground for you.